As I recall, and I was getting text messages throughout this Zoom meeting, was that Shane Walter and Luch from Plymouth County were making statements that we didn't want that property. That we never offered to buy it, we never offered to take it. And I was texting back the person that was texting me and saying, that is not how I remember it at all, wherein Shane Walter got very defensive and then stated that this had little to no impact on the conversation they're having today. So I find it pretty disappointing that they fought so hard to make sure that Woodbury County didn't get it. And now that it's not working for them, they're putting an effort into getting rid of it. And I noticed that the assessed value is at just shy of $500,000, but I'm trying to figure out if there's just so many things wrong with this situation. It's kind of frustrating. And I was not on the Mental Health Governance Board at the time, but I heard Mr. Radig have a disagreement on whether or not Woodbury County wanted that assessment center, but just interesting hardball, and probably speaks to some of the efforts that were made to get away from that region and the toxicity. But I will entertain questions that I'm able to answer.
I'm just going to say that I see this as an opportunity to move forward and, maybe improve service in the long term. It's one of those things where you can't just say, here's what we're going to do right in this second, because we don't know what they're going to do. It's dependent upon them actually selling it. So if that happens, we move forward. Obviously, we're going to work with Siouxland Mental Health. And of course, it's not really us as a board, but the region as a board, I think. So I guess from our vantage point, we want to make sure that services are still provided, because this is an essential service under the state law to provide that emergency assessment care. So I think it's probably potentially a good thing long term, though, if we end up having maybe a better building, or if we end up owning that building, I don't know. So I'd still, if Sioux Rivers wants to partner with us in the future, I'm still willing to work with them. But if they feel a need to sell it, then I guess that's their decision to make.
I'm finding it a little bit curious that Sheldon has 5 possible bidders on that. I mean, I don't know the population of Sheldon, but it seems a little curious, but whatever. If they do, great for them.
Going to make it into a bed and breakfast?
But I don't remember us turning it down back in the day.
Well, our discussion, of course, back then was that we wanted to have the building. We felt that it was our building to have, especially because it was going to be in our county. But there was no interest on their part at the time to get rid of it. And in the end, we made an arrangement and an agreement that really made them pay a larger share than what they would have if they had just let us have the building and paid for their people staying.
Well, didn't it seem like they thought they were going to be making an enormous amount of money by keeping it, and they're going to charge us?
I think they maybe thought that, but with our agreement we made, it was actually beneficial to Woodbury County and to the new region. So maybe they realized that after the operations were going, and now don't see the point in holding on to it if they're not going to actually,
Well, that's, like I said, that is my report from what I gathered yesterday. And time will tell. We'll see what it takes. They didn't offer a price at the meeting, so we'll probably know more. We'd like to know more as much as possible sooner than later, obviously, for obvious reasons, budgeting, et cetera, the care and so forth, but that's where we're at for the moment.
just confusing to me. I mean, those are open meetings. Maybe not recorded meetings, but they were open.
Oh, you mean in the past?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it,
I know they were recorded audio, but as far as the public just pulling something.
yeah, I think the conflicting opinions on whether or not we want it just confuses me, and I'm just going by the information that I got when I think Jeremy and Keith were on the governance board back in the day, maybe you, Matthew, but it was frustrating and not getting any better for whatever reason. But on the other hand, I think it would be nice to have clean cut end of discussion with,
Well, at that time, it was Matthew and I, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
so anyway, the drama still continues.
All right. Any other reports on committee meetings?
I had a couple. One was workforce development. We do have our board, our local board as well in place. We have our service provider was decided to be Goodwill. Sean Fick, who works for Goodwill now, used to work for Western Iowa Tech and was the service provider through Western Iowa Tech in the past. So we've got somebody that knows the laws and is very good at doing this already. So it's kind of interesting moving forward with an 18-county region, but some counties have next to no participation, no attendance at meetings, nobody from their county on the local board. You know, you're going to get what you put into that, and I think, you know, for Plymouth and Woodbury and Monona, who are all in a region together before, we actually have a lot of our former board members on that local board, so that's going to be good for the region. Simcoe, we did get a CERTS building update on that project moving forward. They have like an architect now. Obviously, they were waiting with a lot of the DOT because they're going to share property with the DOT on that new facility that they're building out kind of like east of Baumgars on Highway 20. So we've been working with them at the DOT. We've been working with federal transportation because that's 100% grant funded, so they've been doing a lot of the legwork themselves because they're heavily invested into that CERTS building. Also, Monona County kind of gave a little bit of an update on their barge project, and there is a lot of excitement for this area, even though that's in Monona County. It's not very far from, you know, our county, and it could actually have a lot of impacts for things shipping up into this area via barge, so it's kind of exciting. I'm sure you're going to all take that home to your families this Christmas, talk about this potential barge traffic in Monona County, and but that's all I got.
You could provide it in a PowerPoint for us, that would be even better.
Yeah, maybe I can.
January, will you?
Yeah. Any other reports on committee meetings? All right, item 11 is citizen concerns once again. For anyone who missed out on the first time, no one was here to miss out on it, but perhaps they meant to be here and they are now calling care. No? Okay. All right, board concerns, item 12. We should discuss the county farm property. My understanding is the lease is up the end of this year and December 1st. Okay, and we need to discuss what to do with that. Dennis or Karen, could you tell us what you know as far as the existing occupant and our options?
It's up December 1st. I believe we received them around $66,000 a year, which went into the general basic fund. So now the question is, what do you want to do with the farm? Do you want to cash rent it out again? Go out and get bids? Potentially, last time I think we had 3 or 4 bids. And then we take the highest, cash per acre. Or the last option is sell it.
I should just bid it out again.
Joshua, do we need a board action later to put this out to bid, or can we go with consensus?
You can go with consensus.
Okay, because we got, from the last time we advertised, all we had to do is change dates, send it out.
Okay.
Hopefully get somebody.
Is the current renter willing
Has
to?
he expressed interest?
He has called. He said he was gonna come to a meeting because he said he had some concerns or ideas or something about the farm, but I haven't seen him. I don't know.
How long is the process? Could he come within that process?
Yeah, because we probably have to advertise it, give it 2 or 3 weeks to receive bids.
Okay.
As is both properties, the farm and out by the
Just-
breezy land?
Just the farm, I think it's 184 acres, 208. We don't lease out the training center, any of that land there.
No, but we had like the breezy property, didn't we lease some of that out last time?
I think secondary roads
Secondary
did,
roads did that.
Okay,
yeah, that's something different from that.
okay.
Yep.
I guess the other thing as part of this discussion is to determine how many year lease you want to do. You can do yearly, or we traditionally have done 3-year leases, which is somewhat standard in farm leases. I think there was a quirk last time we did it where it ended up being for 2 years, but we typically would do 3 years or 1 year.
Okay. Any?
Aaron and Joshua get together, make sure it's worded correctly.
Okay. Any consensus to do 3 years?
Fine with me.
Okay, there is consensus.
Okay, very good.
Not saying you can't keep your ear open if someone wants to give us top dollar, but
Right. Somebody comes forward. Okay.
we should also, okay, so coming up are the swearing-ins of new elected officials. That is December 31st, correct?
Yes,
10 a.m.
yes.
And we'll need to get a notice, just to be safe, for a notice of gathering when we get close to that date. That will be here.
Yes.
Is there anyone that is, I heard there is one person that is doing it a different day?
Sheriff is, yes.
Okay. So that'll be handled separately. Okay. And then by code, our first meeting of the next year needs to be the 4th on Monday. Is that correct? Okay. And in the past, I think we have substituted that first meeting for the first Tuesday's meeting, just so we don't have back-to-back. We can handle whatever we need to in that week in one day. Is the board okay with that, or do you want to think about it and let me know?
I'm fine with it.
Doing a Tuesday meeting basically on the Monday on the 4th. So in that case, Dennis will get some budgets ready to do after our normal part of the meeting, the first meeting of the year. And are we open to starting a little bit earlier so we have time to discuss any budgets without cutting too late?
So you're talking on the 4th?
Yes.
So I still have to work that day, so I don't know if we can schedule a meeting early, like a 9 o'clock and 8:30, and I got to be 2 blocks away by 10,
When do you get off?
7.
Nice. Okay, we'll brainstorm about what time to start that meeting. Probably pretty important for you to make the beginning part. And I don't think we want to start at 7:30, do we?
I'm good with that, but
I mean, I could make it, but
We start at 6 o'clock in the morning, so 7:30.
Yeah, this time of year, 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. seems like midnight.
it's just county business, you know, we need to,
I mean, we got to guard the whole building for that. So. Okay. Any other board concerns?
you just got consensus all over the place here, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
We're just full of it. Consensus, that is.
We are consensed. Board concern? Board concern.
Sorry?
Board concern? No? Okay. Supervisor Wright likes the desk. With that, we'll adjourn. Thank you.